Back in the early 90s, the Lord laid adoption on the hearts of my husband at the time and myself. We pursued foreign adoption, domestic adoption, and foster care. Each of those avenues did not work out, and we just could not understand why the Lord would place that on our hearts, but not answer the prayer. People were praying for us locally, and friends and family, and scriptures that kept coming up to us was Isaiah 40:31, which reads, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." So during that process, we understood that when each door was closed, that must have been the Lord saying, wait. But we didn't know how long to wait. We didn't know if it was, a few weeks or months or years or what it was going to be. Isaiah 40:31 also talks about renewing their strength. And at that time, I was healthy and working in Chicago and commuting and busy with kids and family, and I felt fine. So I had no idea what renew their strength would mean for me. In 1998, I began having some symptoms that wound up being multiple sclerosis. I would have weakness and cognitive problems, brain fog, chronic fatigue that started to set into my body. I could not stand without help. I was not able to eat. I was so weak and in so much pain, my girls had to feed me pizza. Even whether your eyes are open or not, you have like a sensation of a laser show going on. It's quite disturbing. Believers and friends and family would send me cards and letters and devotions and that type of thing. And it was such a great source of encouragement that I was not alone, that they were with me, they were praying for me, and that God was in control. I believe He used others as His vessels to encourage me. And one of the common scriptures that came through that was Isaiah 40:31. So it kept coming up. At that time too, I realized that we weren't going to be able to adopt, that I was not going to have the strength. So that sent me into a depression, and was still unclear why I had that burning desire in our hearts to adopt. I finally began to understand what renew their strength was going to mean for me. I finally got stronger and was able to function with my limitations, but I was still able to function with my chronic fatigue and to manage through that. Over the next decade or two, the Lord has taken me through many hills and valleys with my MS and my health, but none were as dark as those days when I first had my first attack. In 2013, we had been married 33 years, and abruptly our marriage ended. There was no warning, but God miraculously revealed to me this affair. As you can imagine, the subsequent weeks were very, very tough. I had a nervous breakdown and was not able to even live at my house anymore. I had to move. My family gathered around me. My brother came in from Missouri. My sister came in from Indiana and stayed with me for 2 months. During that time, it was pressed upon my heart that I need to write a book about encouragement, about how the Lord encouraged me through these dark times. He was extremely faithful and used people to encourage me during that time. And then I also wanted to share that encouragement with other people who are going to be going through trials and tribulations. And I want to encourage them that God is faithful and He is there, and He says that He will be walking with us and holding our right hands. In God's beauty of restoration, I was remarried in 2015. On March 27th of 2020, I was just sitting here quietly during my devotion time, and one of my devotions included Isaiah 40:31. And I thought to myself, oh, how I love that verse, because it has been just woven through my life. As I sat there doing my devotions that day and the Lord revealed His plan for my life, I felt an overwhelming sense of humility and unworthiness and amazement that He has brought me this far and He is showing His providence in my life. Now is the time to write the story, because people across the world are hurting. They are looking for answers, they are hopeless, they need encouragement. Now is the time. So now I am starting a ministry called Eagle's Wings 2020. Eagle's Wings is because of my favorite verse, Isaiah 40:31. And the year 2020 is because this is an unprecedented year, and the ministry has grown out of this period of time that we are all experiencing. It's designed to provide encouragement and hope to others by sharing God's presence and providence in my life through the means of social media. I'm going to use Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and a website. If you choose to give, there's a donate button on my website where funds will be used to support adoption ministries. And it's precious to my heart, because that is God answering the prayer of me, answering my prayer of 26 years ago. And I'm so thrilled that He did not let that prayer go. He kept that, and then He's bringing it full circle. And I'm able to have a part in adoption, not adopt a child like I thought at the time, but I'm going to have an impact on adoptive families and adopted children. I'm excited about the website because it will include the short video clips as well as the songs that were important to me at the time, and encouragement that people sent along the way. It will also include a section where people can submit how the Lord has worked in their lives, as well as a section for prayer requests. There will also be a gospel-centered section that will give resources to believers if they want to deepen their faith and their walk with the Lord, and also resources for those people who are seeking hope who are not yet believers. I'm so very thankful to God for the abundance of peace and relief He has provided to me. For years, I have carried a very heavy burden that, because I didn't journal every day, I lost all the details of how He worked in my life. I felt like I failed the Lord miserably after all He has done for me. I couldn't go back to recreate the specifics in my story. I felt so helpless. During that time, I did save some scriptures, devotions, and song lists that ministered to me, but it felt so incomplete. In His marvelous providence, He has replaced that burden and helplessness with great joy and relief and blessing that He will use me to tell my story. My hope and prayer is that those who visit my website will find encouragement through God who renews our strength.